Hey everyone, hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Happy Football Sunday. I wanted to break down what Bitcoin is about to do for you guys because, yes, it is not looking too good here, but there is going to be an opportunity to buy for you long term holders and, of course, for you traders out there, okay? If you guys are looking for any new exchanges out there, please make sure to check down in the description. JumpX is giving you guys 10% rebates for your entire term when you guys are using them. And on top of that, you can make up to $100,000 in freebies with them, all by just trading, which is a great way to, make some extra money and also just make sure that you're not spending as much money on fees compared to all the other exchanges, right? So let's get started here. Bitcoin weekly chart. This is the most important chart to be looking at right now, and not enough people are looking at it. Excuse me. So right now, what we're looking at is Bitcoin hovering over the 50-week moving average. And unfortunately for us, it's most likely going to break down below this. And this is where our next level of support becomes very, very crucial. Typically, this level of support that we've been talking about, it's basically been at about 53,000 all the way back down here to 50,000. And I would say things have been looking not so good, right? But generally speaking, at least we've been following some type of plan. We've had a support level all the way since April, and we've been able to bounce, maybe bounce off of this one, right? Just like the resistance level. We got a resistance level way back over here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. It usually is working out. And because everything is going according to plan, people typically haven't been freaking out because we really haven't had a large breakdown or a large breakout just yet. And this is where I think we start to get the bad news for Bitcoin. Right now, momentum is most likely going to take this through the 50-week moving average. And this is going to put a lot of pressure on it to see if it can actually hold 50,000. At best here, guys, I think at best, there's a chance that Bitcoin comes back down here to around 50,000 or maybe as far down as like 49,005, and then it tries to make a higher low, and then going into rate cuts and stuff like that, we somehow consolidate and then break out going into October. And so October is really going to be the good month for Bitcoin. And, you might have to say September, we're just going to have to kind of give up on that one right now. It's just not really working out in our favor, and all of that momentum is just literally coming right back down. Okay. This is, a good scenario for most of us here. I don't think it's the likely scenario. I think what's going to happen right now, because we have rate cuts, and typically after rate cuts, we have a little bit of a move down, and of course, we can build our way back up very fast. We know that Bitcoin can come back out of nowhere when it wants to. It's done it so many times before. It's just that when these moves happen here, where things get really rough, people typically freak out, especially because they have those memories of 2022 when there were exchanges going down during that time and there were no audits and stuff like that of exchanges in the USA. Now that they have the audits, things are a little bit more safer. I wouldn't say perfect, but a lot better than what it used to be. This is where you guys are going to have to trust a lot about knowing when to buy on a potential dip. Because if we go back over here, you're going to see this huge level of support, basically this last consolidation zone right down here. This is where I think Bitcoin will end up during the rate cuts over the next couple weeks. And the way I'm trying to play this here is, you guys already know I've done all my dollar cost averaging. I've done all that type of stuff, and it's been okay. I've been losing money, of course, with the dollar cost averaging, but it's all because I'm waiting for that large move back up here to 104,000 bucks. Because let's do a little bit of a, look this year. Each one has been hit beautifully. The next one is 100,000 or 104,000, excuse me. After that, 174,000, which would absolutely be fantastic. We'll see if we get to 174,000, but I don't think it's unlikely that we at least hit 100,000. In fact, that's a great level to be hitting right there. Okay, but as we decide to make these moves here, let's go to the daily chart. What I'm most likely going to be looking at is placing some limit orders way down here in case Bitcoin does have a larger move over time, because I believe once Bitcoin has that move right there, that's only then can we have a nice rebound, and that consolidation that goes to November will lead to a breakout that really gets the end of the year looking really well. So I think we might finish off the end of the year probably back to where we started. But if you guys are able to buy down here, the jump is going to be insane. Let's say you buy right here, or even at the peak over here, the move back over here is going to be 33%. That's going to be beautiful for Bitcoin, but it's going to be even more beautiful for those altcoins that you guys are looking at. And I wish I kind of had better news here because of this, because I don't want to be the guy that says, hey, we're not going to be able to find support. We're going to, that type of stuff. It's just that weekly bearish move has still been there for so long, and we haven't really found a way to find some support. So instead of not dollar cost averaging and not doing certain things, what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to have a little bit of a hedge in the market. And what that means is I'm just going to have some lines on the screen here. I'm going to have a limit order at $46,000, right around there. I'm going to have another limit order over here at about $44,000. And I'm going to have one way down here at about $42,000, just in case we have a very bad crash for whatever reason. And these limit orders are going to be more heavily weighted towards the bottom, of course. If I have a small one right here, a medium one right there, and a large one right there, if Bitcoin does in fact crash, I will be able to buy some up during that scary moment. And then when it does decide to rally back around, that's I'm going to be most happy, because then I've been able to get somewhere close to the bottom. And then, of course, you can kind of sell and take those profits, or you can hold those profits and keep on holding them until you hit to 100,000 or potentially 175, because again, this might be the last good opportunity we have to buy dips before we start making some of these larger moves. Let's say you fill that $45,000 one. That's 128% profit up to 104. And if you go all the way up here to 170, that's like 300% basically. Again, it's going to be difficult because you guys are going to have to wait for those moves. But where I think it's going to be very beautiful is when it comes to altcoins specifically. You guys go over here to see all the different meme coins out. There are, of course, tons of meme coins, but you guys can buy Dogecoin, Sheep, Pepe. I already have a lot of these right here, the top 4 or 5, so I don't think I need to buy many more. But when you start getting to some of those lower market caps, Mog, Cat and Dog's New World, Pepe, Sundog right here, I'm looking to buy some Turbo, some Sundog, and where are the other ones from Tron here? I think it was like Chicken Inu or something like that. I can find it very fast. Let me go over here to my bookie marks. There we go. Sun, Just, JST, and then Winklin. I'm going to be buying these up quite a bit here. So I'm waiting for these moves. I'm thinking I should probably just do a small initial setup, a little buy-in first. But these have been moving down along with a lot of other stuff. But you got to check out, ever since, Tron, opened up this new way to make meme coins, you are seeing a few meme coins really take off. You are also seeing meme coins fall 53% in the last month. It is still very much a gamble, but I think those gambles are going to be worth it, especially if you are potentially able to buy at the bottom. When we look at these cycles here and we see what's happened with Bitcoin over the past few years, let me go to the long-term one. We've had our hiccups as part of the cycle here, and I think most people are kind of saying we're somewhere around here pre-pump, and what we're looking for is just that larger move. But every single time I look at that 50-week moving average, that's not the best thing to be breaking down below here. So I'm really kind of concerned that, hey, I'm going to have some limit orders here, but it feels like we need to flush. It doesn't feel like we're going to just all of a sudden bounce back up from here and then have a breakout. It feels like we're going to flush, have a larger move going over here, and we're setting up for a different type of breakout. Now, again, because whales have a little bit of a pull on Bitcoin, or so they have some weight in Bitcoin, you could say, it might not look as pretty as that. We can always have something a little bit more of a crazy move. But you can see even over here, we had to pause for a couple months before making that move back up. We're going to have to completely, capitulate here. Then we're going to have that holding period somewhere around here. Maybe the holding period is just for, September and October. We all have to see. It may just be October. And then all of a sudden, the real big move happens in December to push us back up. Lots of ways to look at this. It's all going to be very difficult. However, these monthly charts are not looking good. You can see right there, monthly. Only the MACD is still looking okay. And, when we have these monthly charts flipping over, typically the cycle isn't looking too good. Even back over here, MACD, everything flipping over, and that's not good at all, right? COVID over here, a little bit of a different circumstance, but you can even see some weakness a few weeks beforehand. And then, of course, back over here, that monthly chart. It typically doesn't work well for Bitcoin. So I just want to stress to you guys, dollar cost averaging is still a best bet. But if you guys are kind of concerned that this may be the end of a cycle or something like that, the best way you can protect yourself is just to buy the big ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, because that's really where I see a good amount of potential for the long-term holdings. Altcoins, for all the altcoins I own, they're either going to become, help in the tax season if I'm forced to sell them this year, which I don't think I will, because again, this is most likely still part of the middle of the cycle. But the way I want to play this personally is wait for the flush, hope for the flush, honestly. And then once we have this capitulation here, I'm looking to load up in those zones, Once I'm there, I'm going to be buying up quite a bit. And let me see if I can find my other Bitcoin. And really placing some limit orders around $46, $42, and $44,000 around here and waiting for something more of a substantial boom, because even though the technicals may be telling you one story, we know from Bitcoin's history that whales can really get this thing pumping up out of nowhere in a short amount of time. And, you know, it doesn't have to follow the same logic as the stock market, where there's a lot more rules, regulation, and you have different ways that the market is manipulated. It's manipulated over a longer period of time. Bitcoin is usually more quickly manipulated, if I do say so. So I'll see you guys a little bit later on tonight for a stream, and you guys will also be seeing me post some videos here a little bit later on. Thanks.